Hello, everybody. Look at that beautiful artwork. What can I say? Except, hello there, and welcome to the second of two shows today on the Steelchair, where I'm joined by a new guest. I'm joined by Katherine across the Atlantic Ocean, where I feel sorry for her. But then again, though, she's up early because she's got to watch wrestling in Germany, so we'll see how she feels. But of course, everybody that's watching this is the Bash in Berlin preview show because I'm not watching their kickoff show. I've got no interest in them. They're always wank. They're not entertaining. It's like JSO in a conversation with anybody. It's a waste of time. So, to everyone that's watching, welcome one and all. Katherine, welcome to the channel for the first time live. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, what are you expecting of the show? Before we even dive into it, what are you thinking? Because we know you're a certain enthusiast of a Fulham owner. You're an enthusiast of Khan, but just in general, because you're a wrestling fan, what is your expectation of the show? And do you think it'll match it, or do you think it'll be below it?
Any WWE plea that I go in with low expectations.
Rightfully so.
So if something amazing happens, it will kind of like exceed my expectations going in.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. When you look at the card, though, and obviously, like every show, I always share the cards. But are you excited by it?
Not really. It looks like a snooze fest. It looks like a snooze fest to me. And if I didn't have to take notes on it so I could write on my blog about it, I would probably have it on as background noise and be doing other stuff.
Yeah, I think that's fair from yourself and how you want to come into it. We all have likes and dislikes when it comes to pro wrestling. I'm certainly hoping that a good show. I say that I'm hoping it is because it's been an interesting week for wrestling. I think All In set the bar. I think Emergence last night gave TNA something for their obviously coming up to Bound for Glory. They need to get themselves in a good position. I think they're in a good stead. Coming out with SummerSlam, WWE really need to race on. I should say, like they need to race on with their expectations, with their product, especially because their next big show isn't this show. Their next big show is everyone's more interested in Bad Blood for the return of Bad Blood, which is next month. And then obviously Survivor Series. Bash in Berlin is just going to feel like Clash at the Castle when I went out in my country a couple months ago. It just feels like a filler show, especially when it's a 5-match card.
Yeah, but the 5-match card is like their new forte. Unless it's like SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, all the other pleas they're doing, they're probably only going to do 5 matches.
Are you for
and a 5-match card does not render a 2-hour pre-show.
Yeah. I was going to say, are you for it or are you against it with these 5-match cards?
Good question. It really doesn't matter to me. Now, if I'm paying $50 for this, then I want more bang for my buck.
Yep.
So, like, I don't get upset when I pay for an AEW pay-per-view and have to sit there for 4 hours and have 9 or 10 matches on the card because I'm paying $50. With WWE having their stuff on Peacock, I'm paying $7.99. So I'm really not that upset because the only reason I have Peacock is to watch the Premier League soccer games. So it's like WWE's just a bonus.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think you mentioned the one thing important about it is getting getting your money's worth. If you're spending XYZ on a card, whether it be 5 matches or 9, you want to get absolutely your money's worth. You want to feel like you're being attracted to the content. You want to feel like you're being enveloped by what's on the show. Now, when you look at the talent that's actually on the card, you would actually say this is actually good. When you actually run through the names, you've got Damian Priest having like his best year. Like in terms of his working individually, it's his best year. Rhea Ripley is the best woman they've got, besides Bianca Belair, because Jade Cargill has not gone the way that many had hoped. You've got their best feud right now in CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Whether like him or dislike him in any way, like this is their best feud. It's the one they've amped all the entertainment and their time into. For me, it sweeps all the Bloodline shit that they did for the past 4 years. I never really liked that. The only thing that saved the Bloodline story from being a dud to me is The Rock.
Yeah.
He's the only one that made it remotely interesting. I'm probably going to get a lot of Bloodline fans crying at me for it, but I'd rather tell the truth than lie. But this is actually a feud that I'm actually remotely interested in because I like how in-depth they've got to just pure hate each other. And I like they're using every form of media to make it so. You've got 2 singles world title matches. One of them is a little bit of a worry than the other. The women's tag match is just a rematch. I'm hoping that we get some sort of spin on it during this match. But again, my biggest problem, the singles women's titles are not being defended here. Like, I get it, you're having a mixed tag match between Ripley and Priest, and you've got Mysterio and Mid Morgan. But they've done mixed tag title matches before, where I remember distinctly Santino Marella and Beth Phoenix in 2008 defended the IC they won the IC and the women's titles against Kofi Kingston and Mickie James at SummerSlam 2008. So why not in this match make it a bit more interesting? Liv Morgan defends her world title. Why is Nia Jax, who's having her best year in her entire career, she's like, that's by far her best year. Why is she not on this card? Why is Ilja Dragunov not on this card? Like, there's some elements where they've lost a trick, and there's some elements where they might gain a trick.
And Ilya is supposed to be like one of their best new up and coming stars that they called up from NXT. And they really, to me, haven't done anything with him. And given that he is European, he should have been on this card.
Yeah, I agree. He wasn't even on the last one either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wasn't even on. He wasn't at SummerSlam. He wasn't at Clash at the Castle.
But they had him wrestling dark matches from SmackDown yesterday.
He wrestled Gunther last night on a dark match.
Yeah.
I know which match I would have preferred on this card. I would have preferred Gunther versus Ilja Dragunov for the world title, not Gunther versus Randy Orton.
Well, I do think they would have a better match, but I have been a Randy Orton fan since he came in WWE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm not upset that Randy's on the match. I would like to see Randy win.
Mm-hmm.
So he could get closer to that John Cena number before he retires. Not sure they're going to do that.
Well, it has come out yesterday. Randy Orton signed a new 5-year deal with WWE, so he is contractually tied now to 2029. So there's still a chance that he could tie the record and break it. Now, me personally, I don't think John Cena should break this record. If he does, I'll be disgusted. I would rather somebody who's been there more long term to the organization should break the record. I think Randy Orton should break that record. Cena spent more time in Hollywood after ironically criticising this guy for calling him a hypocrite. I like the fact that at least Cena apologised for being a hypocrite, but he should not break this record. It should either be tied with Flair or Orton should do it. Because it goes back to the Evolution days. It makes sense. He said he'll break my record.
Yeah, if somebody's going to break it, it should be Randy. Unless they just decide to have Cena hold the record, which it's WWE, and you know how they push Cena, so.
Yeah, considering the fact they've got a new one as well, so makes sense. I just like holding this thing.
Well, you're the champion, Reece.
I'm actually adding 2 more to, well, actually potentially 3 more to my collection. So I found the big gold that does not have the WWE logo on it. I'm going to get the TNA World title, and obviously I'm a big fan of the IWGP IC title. So for me, the best belt design since after this, but actually like the Undisputed WWE title that they had 2002 period until Cena got rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that I like that version of the WWE title. Like I'd like to get my hands on that, but it's just the price of title belts these days.
Yeah, they're a little expensive.
A little bit. This was like 300 quid. Before we start previewing the matches, obviously the main card starts in over an hour. There was something that I mentioned before we went live, that there was something that's come out. Now, a couple of days ago, it was announced that former WWE Divas champion, as it was back then, Nikki Bella, as she was called, she's Nikki Garcia now. Her husband was arrested for domestic battery charges. This was obviously broadcast by a few friends of ours, Covalent TV. They made it to my attention. Before we went live, something else has actually come out regarding this story, and I just want people to be aware of this. So he's now been accused of a felony domestic violence, as you know. This all came through TMZ. It was actually himself that called 911 because he actually beat Nikki Bella himself. He was actually beating her. I just wanted to ask, as yourself, what you make of this situation, because the fact that even though he's referred to himself to the police, he's on bail, $25,000, but this is somebody who she felt an emotional connection to while she was in another relationship, and obviously that relationship ended because she didn't get what she wanted. She wasn't getting what she wanted. She now in a way got it with him. She has a child, but the sad reality is that he's now physical violence towards her. I just wanted to ask what your thoughts are on that before we dive into this card.
I'm
aware
giving her status, she has the means to walk away and say screw it.
Mm-hmm.
Where your average woman probably doesn't have the financial means to do that, so that's why they stay in that type of relationship when everybody's like, oh well, you should just walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki has the means to walk away and actually make sure that he's put in jail because it's a felony, not a misdemeanor. So there's a difference. So a misdemeanor, he'd probably get like probation, a fine, a little jail time. A felony, he's probably going to get a good 3 years in jail.
I just wanted to ask, just from the American system for a misdemeanor and a felony. So what is what classes a misdemeanor in contrast to a felony?
Misdemeanors are basically slaps on the wrist.
Okay.
Felonies are, you're going to jail for some amount of time.
Right. So since this one has been classed a felony, he is definitely going to serve jail time.
He's probably going to get some jail time if she continues with the case. Now, a lot of times the women back out of it and then the guy gets off scot-free because they don't want to testify against the man beating them or abusing them.
Yeah. No, of course.
So it depends on how she wants to handle it. So basically the ball will be in her court on whether he'll go to jail or not once they get her testimony and whatever, and the case goes to trial.
Thank you for confirming that on me as well, because I wasn't entirely sure. It's obviously because our system compared to yours is entirely different, so I just wanted to ask. But I know for anyone that's watching this, it is a very sensitive subject. If you are going through anything like this at home, please try and get help in circumstances. I know it's very hard to speak out. I'm not going to come across as insensitive in that way, but in a manner of this, if you are going for a situation like this at home, please do reach out to your local authorities, and hopefully you can get yourselves out. But obviously, that is a major news story. I wanted to bring that out to everyone's attention. Now, however, we're going to dive into this card of sorts. 5 matches with over an hour and 8 minutes to go, so we can have a bit of time to dive into a few. Some of you want to just go, rather not. Let's skip one.
Before we jump into the card, I have a question for you, since you're international.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you feel like WWE gives you predictable B shows for the international crowd to kind of distract from the obvious booking or lack of booking they have?
I think they set themselves up in a way to do so, yes. When you look at giving the crowds what they want, I mean, they gave, for example, McIntyre 2 world title matches on the UK soil, where you give a little bit of belief that he might actually win, only to have him cut short. So I do think they do lean into it in a way. Like, they will lean into whoever's from that area. They will try and get them on the best position possible, but they don't build them to anything. And I think that's a letdown. They had an amazing trick to build up in the right way McIntyre to win on home soil and still feud with CM Punk. I don't like that people said that this feud does not need the world title. It actually, when you look at it right now on Raw, besides Priest and Gunther, who was in that scene beforehand, obviously, when Gunther won the title at SummerSlam, you knew that Gunther was getting the World Championship match at SummerSlam anyway through King of the Ring. That's fine. But you still could have had Punk versus McIntyre for the world title, because it adds more to the already good feud they're already building. You can see that they're actually doing the work themselves. I don't think there's anyone involved in their feud. I think, like, creatively behind the scenes, I think it's purely those two. They're like, this is what we want to do. Back out and stay away from us. Just let us run our own thing. Because I don't think they trust who they're in discussions with. I think only a select few behind the scenes are actually good at booking a match. The likes of Joseph Parks, who's formerly a Best in TNA. He's very good at booking matches. I think Pete Williams is very good at booking matches. He's got a good mind. And I think Bobby Roode's got a great mind creatively for wrestling. That's it. I think the rest of them are a little bit subpar. So I think all of it in a green light has went, well, this is what we want to do. And it's been signed off. I think that's what they've done, in my opinion.
I agree.
And it's a shame, really, because when you look at all the money and financial resources they have, they could potentially, and this is just a potential, it hasn't happened in a long time, but the amount of financial resources they have, they potentially could have the best cards of all time consistently, month on month, for these PLEs, as they call it now. I still call it pay-per-views because I'm old school.
Yeah, I do too.
But these shows theoretically could be absolute, to quote Sheamus, even though it's so overused, you could have complete bangers, or absolute bangers, as he likes to say, if they had all that financial investment into these events. I don't like that you're going to get 5 matches and then some of them are going to be cut short, when you can give them so much time and investment that you can have, theoretically, for these 5 matches, if they give them serious time, effort, and let them work the way they'd like to, you could have 5 amazing matches. But when you look at it on this card, I think theoretically you're only going to have 1 great match, 1 very good match, 1 good match, and then just 2 matches. I think the one great match is the strap match. Mm-hmm. I think the one very good match is Gunther versus Orton. I think the good match will likely be the mixed tag match, and then the 2 matches there will be Owens and Cody Rhodes. Will be Owens, Cody Rhodes, and the tag match for the women's tag titles, because it'll be the same way of working. People like to complain about how others just do everything all in one. If you let them work differently, they could be a whole lot better, and I think they could. I'm just not sure. But the one thing I will do at least is I will give them a chance. I want them to give me a chance to at least prove me wrong, because it's been a great week for wrestling. I don't want it to be ruined by one show. I hope this does not ruin my week.
I hope not either.
But the international...
Let's go in positive. It's going to be a good pay-per-view.
I think there's an opportunity for it to be. So, we are going to go through it in order. So we are going to start with the... We don't know what the match card order is going to be like. I don't really care. But we are going to go with the first match that is listed on good old Wikipedia, because they've not included LA Knight. I'm pretty sure LA Knight has an open challenge as well, doesn't he? Or is that not happening? I didn't watch SmackDown, so I don't know. Is the LA Knight open challenge?
He did an open challenge on SmackDown last night.
Oh, great. So he's definitely not on the card. So that's another mid-card title that's not advertised then.
To be honest, I don't even remember who come out and challenged him.
Was it Mustafa Ali that came? No, not him, because he's genuinely good talent. Santos Escobar, sorry, who's actually still good, but they don't back him properly.
I don't remember.
Damn.
That's how bad SmackDown was.
I didn't watch it. I'm not going to either way, because the go home show was... I was watching a pay-per-view that more interest for me anyway.
Like, Rampage was better than SmackDown.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm. Like, if I had to rate the two, I rated SmackDown like a -10, and Rampage was a 7. You need to check out the 4-way match on there between Takeshita, Beast Mortos, Commander, and Lilo Rush.
I do like Lilo Rush, to be fair. He was another talent that could have been something really good in WWE, especially in their mid-card division. I really do
too.
like. Yeah, he has something to talk about.
Last night from Capital Collision, though.
Yeah, he did. Good match he had.
Yeah,
very good match. I'll check out the highlights of SmackDown. Like, I'll check out the highlights, but I won't watch the show. So, this first one obviously is the Undisputed WWE title match. It is Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. We know the baseline story as they've declared it for this one. The story simply is, thanks for helping me, so here's your reward. You're getting a WWE title match.
That you're basically going to lose because they're not going to take the title off of Cody.
No. But do you think that Kevin Owens actually has any good showing here? Because I still think he is good enough to work with.
Yeah, I like Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And
he gets a lot of unfair stick, to be fair.
And him and Cody may have some good chemistry in the ring together. And this match might surprise you, and it actually turns out to be a decent match. I definitely would not have it be a DQ or any interference. I would just let the two show out in the ring.
In terms of time frame as well, how long would you give this? I think because it's a 5-match card, there's going to be some sort of filler segments they don't need. I think they should let them have the time frame. I would like this to go at least close to 30 minutes.
Definitely 20 to 30.
Yeah, because the WWE title and the World Heavyweight title matches, they should go the longest. Bar the strap match, obviously that's going to be violent, but these are your two main titles on your respective branded shows. If they go less than 20 minutes, you're doing an injustice. You've got to let them work, especially Kevin Owens, who's got a variety of good offense. And Cody Rhodes, I'm not his biggest fan. I've never been his biggest fan. But when he really does work, and we saw it with the Kevin Owens, with the Seth Rollins trilogy, for example, he really does work to an opponent that complements him really well. You're likely to have the best match on the card with him and for him, like bit of both, like for and with him. It's likely to be the best match, and that's especially when it's an opponent fits him. And I think Kevin Owens fits him better than that I personally would have liked The Rock to have smoked him, but it's not going to happen. But a match between Cody and Kevin Owens would be better than a match between Cody and Rock or Cody Roman Free. People are going to want Cody versus Roman Free. I don't. We've already seen everything they can do. It would just be the same thing. At least with Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes, they work totally different ways.
Mm-hmm. They do. Yeah, I agree. If they go less than 20 minutes in either one of their championship matches, Cody or Gunther, they're going to do them a disservice. And I know lots of people talk about Randy only having like 5 moves. Cody's basically the same way. Most WWE wrestlers only have like a 5 move set.
Mm-hmm. Which is true. The only difference is, and this is the expert side to Randy Orton, is he's a great adapter to who he works with. Mm-hmm. So it might be 5 moves, but 5 moves done differently. And it's just a testament to his ability and his experience that it can be worthwhile and enjoyable. But by proximity, of course, I'm hoping Kevin Owens turns heel, because if he stays as a babyface after this, then there's not much to... Yeah, he has to turn heel. I'm hoping after this he lamps Cody with a chair or something. Because if Cody just wins this and then that's the end of it, I'll be disappointed.
Yeah, I could see Cody winning clean and then Kevin getting pissed and grabbing the chair, grabbing the steel stairs, just beating the crap out of him.
Yeah, I agree.
Turn Kevin heel, because, I mean, really, after this, what do you have for Kevin Owens if you don't turn him heel?
Another 5 years with the bloodline. What's up, pal? How are you? And as always, I always keep my promises. Hero of the nation in blue, of course. Our hero, our Lord and Savior, not Jesus Christ. It's Joe Hendry. I'm gonna get killed for that by a friend of mine who's a Christian.
I'm a Christian. I'm not offended by it, so go ahead.
Fantastic. I know you believe. So I'm going to...
I believe in religion, and I believe in Joe Hendry, so I'm good.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
I got my bases covered.
You've got the real bases covered. He is so good. He may not... Like, people may think, oh, he looks a bit basic, but no, he is genuinely really good.
I'm kind of excited because, like I told you earlier, TNA is doing their pay-per-view from WrestleCade this year. So it's going to be my first live TNA event. Mm-hmm. I've been to WWE live. I've been to AEW live. So then I'm going to knock TNA off. So now I just need to go see a New Japan event live, and I'll have the 4 major promotions covered.
We've got Noah here in the UK this month coming. So literally you've got Noah in Glasgow, you've got Noah in Manchester, and both main events are the exact same. Ricky Knight Jr. is in a tag match versus Keno and Kaito Kiyomiya. And obviously Kaito versus Keno is the M1 Victor final tomorrow.
Yeah, for Wrestle Kingdom comes on at 3 a.m. my time, Eastern time.
Yeah.
In America.
6 a.m.
Me and my son will get up and I'll make breakfast. So that's how we celebrate Wrestle Kingdom, is we'll have breakfast and watch Wrestle Kingdom.
Nice. I can't wait for Wrestle Kingdom, honestly. I can't. I know you do. You've not missed a lot. We've just had an interesting conversation about the first one that we've talked about, which is the Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens match. We're hoping that there's an element that Kevin Owens will turn heel, and I'm hoping that they are given time. I certainly do hope they are given time, because the one thing they don't do, though, is they at least accommodate to their fans. Kevin Owens will always work to the indie fan that he is, even though he's in the bigger scene. He's not an indie anymore, but he always works to that indie crowd that he rightly and solely adores most. Cody was not on the Indies long, so he isn't going to wrestle towards that crowd. He's going to wrestle towards a WWE crowd. So you have the blend there. You have the blend. It's just, will you give him it? I'm not sure. I think he'll turn at some point. Not sure if tonight is the night, though. I hope tonight is the night. I don't, but we'll see. If he doesn't turn heel, though, and he turns heel on SmackDown, are they just going to give him the match at Bad Blood? Because if he doesn't turn heel tonight, then there's no justification to do it on SmackDown. Like, the best opportunity is to do it right here in the European scene.
I hope the crowd is better than what they were for SmackDown. That's all I have to say. They were garbage for SmackDown.
Quick question for you guys. What do you make of Cody's reign so far? I'll let you go first.
Do you want me to tell the truth or do you want me to lie? The truth, I think it's been boring. Probably gonna get slack for this. No fault of Cody's. I'm not a Cody fan, but no fault of his. I just think after the Rock Roman situation, they really didn't know what to do with him.
Mrs. from another mister will not argue with you, by the way. She is on the path of righteousness. She's on the path of truth. So she will agree with you. I also agree. I think a lot of people are obsessed that Cody is the best thing since sliced bread. That he is entertaining as a WWE champion. Now, a lot of people I know have said numerous times that Sting, for example, as a world champion was terrible. But as a wrestler, he was excellent. I agree to an extent because it lives up to the point. You can be a great wrestler, but that doesn't make you a great world champion. The best world champion of all time.
Better at chasing the title than having the title.
Yeah.
And I feel Cody might be in that situation where he does better when he's chasing the title than when he has the title.
Yeah, and he certainly gave a good chase on it. Like the chase with Roman for the chase for Roman for that full year was actually good because he got the level of position that he had in between realistically showed an element to his ability. I think a better world champion is someone that you immediately look to. So when I think of great wrestlers that were great world champions, Rick is always number one. Ric Flair will always be the greatest world champion in pro wrestling history. Second, for me, is probably Harley Race. Because he stood out as a world champion. Number 3 was a great chaser, but he was also a great world champion. I'm going to say Kurt Angle.
I think he's a little underrated for his championship run.
Several. And to complete my top 5, even though I absolutely despise this man, number 4, I honestly have to say is Hulk Hogan. I absolutely despise Hulk Hogan, but as a world champion, Hogan was at least a believable world champion in WCW and WWE, even when he was twilight of his career as a world champion. When he had a world title, you knew that it was actually going to be positioned where it should be on the card, and whoever beats him for it is going to get a good rub. I think that's something that's lost these days, and I think I'm the last of my top 5 for champions. I'm stuck between 2. I'm stuck between either naming Stone Cold in 5th or Bret Hart, because Bret Hart is still one of my all-time favorite. Actually, I'm going to say both. Fuck it, there's a top 6. Stone Cold and Bret Hart. Anytime they held a title, it meant something. Anytime they were chasing a title, it meant something. I don't think Cody's in any of the leagues that I've mentioned. Could he be in the future? Potentially. But I don't think he is. As a chaser, he is outstanding though. I'll give him that. He's a great title chaser.
Well, I kind of feel like the same with like MJF and AEW.
Mhm.
when he had the title, and I'm an MJF fan, I was
It's true.
bored. I was like, this sucks. Him chasing the title, I was always interested in.
Mhm.
And to see what kind of crap he was going to pull to try to get to the title.
Yeah.
That's how, I mean, I remember, I want to say 2021? I think it was 2021 was the first AEW event that I went to live, and it was the Holiday Bash in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Uh-huh.
I literally, Cody Rhodes had me pulling for Sammy Guevara in their match.
Mm.
And I am not a Sammy Guevara fan.
Me neither. He bores the death out of me. Like, he has that effect on me that Jack Perry did. Like, he just
But
steals
Cody
my
really
soul.
had me pulling for Sammy Guevara. And I just
Mm.
think Cody panders to the crowd too much for my taste.
I think that's a fair critique on him. You can see that. I think the one thing that got overly obsessed, and what turned fans against him, was the Codyverse thing. Now, a lot of people I knew disagreed that Chris Jericho should never have been the first AEW World Champion. I disagreed with that. I think Chris Jericho right there and then in 2019 was the best to go with. Kenny Omega didn't need to be World Champion straight away. He was going to be World Champion anyway. But Chris Jericho was the big megastar. Cody Rhodes is right there. And in that sense, he should never have booked himself to lose. Like, he should never have booked himself to not only just lose the match, but again have it where he would never challenge again. Because I actually think if he had been a world champion in AEW, it would have been really liked. And then he comes back to WWE naturally anyway, because I thought he was going to come back regardless. It would be immediate streamline. A good AEW world title reign. He can lose it to Moxley, just as Jericho did. Lose it to Moxley, but Cody Rhodes would lose it to him. And then he would go back to WWE, still probably have beaten Roman anyway. And you've got streamline. But instead he booked himself to be an underdog that nobody liked. And now he's booked like an overwhelming favourite. And people are struggling to think if this is actually how he should be or not, because a lot more people are constantly on his back regarding ratings than they were regarding Roman when it came to a ratings discussion. It's almost as if the rating conversation didn't apply to Roman. It was only when ratings fail, WWE fails. When ratings are successful, it's Roman's the reason. Now it's if the ratings fail, it's Cody. Succeed, it's WWE. When it should be, everybody should be at praise. Everyone should be at fault. And I hate the ratings conversations because people use it for agenda, whereas I'm using it in the sense of, in the point of, yes, you'll have people that are draw, but you compare them with people who are one, and you will get something out of that core. But they're missing the trick there. I think Cody is a draw. The problem is he's not their biggest draw.
No, I don't think he is. And I think they want him to be.
I think he will be overshadowed at some point by a Gunther, or he'll be overshadowed by a Braun Breaker, who I think is absolutely incredible. I think even Randy Orton's a draw. You see, like, it's even more annoying as well when you think about it, that he's a part-timer who's not there anymore. When Cena returns, he's a bigger draw than Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
But that's also legacy as well. I bloody love Braun. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I love Braun too.
He is so damn good. Now we know that shoe real. Now we know that shoe really did
that
work.
lineage, though. He has that genetic lineage, from being a Steiner.
Yeah.
Like his dad and his uncle, they were great.
Oh, I love the Steiners. I especially that Steiner promo with the Steiner math in TNA. That is one of the best promos of all time. Scott Steiner, thank you very much, sir.
And the Steiners hold a place in my heart because they went to the University of Michigan, and I'm a big University of Michigan fan.
Rightly so. Good state. Everything in Michigan's great. I mean, Machine Guns, Steiners, Kevin Nash. when
Michigan
he's
has
not.
produced some decent wrestlers.
But Scott Steiner is probably the best one. Unless you present a case for someone else, I would say Scott Steiner is the best, just ahead of the Guns. But Braun is just incredible. He is going to be. I think he'll be a WrestleMania main eventer in the next couple of years. I think the next 2-3 years he'll main event a WrestleMania on his own, and he'll go in
be
as
world
champion
within the next 2 years, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And I will absolutely enjoy it. I think he'll be incredible. Speaking of champions, however, the next match is a women's tag title match where there's actually some bets going on. So this is an interesting thing from Sportskeeda. I like to bring up some facts and statistics. Definitely, of course. So where is it? Because this is funny. Now, I've said numerous times that I want Bianca Belair to turn on Jade Cargill because the EST gimmick is not a babyface type gimmick. For me, that's a heel. When you say you're the fastest, quickest, or strongest, you're belittling everyone around you, in my opinion. You're basically saying you're above everyone else. That, for me, is not a babyface gimmick. And
I can see that.
I think there's an element there where they have to turn her heel.
I don't think they will, though.
No, I think they'll turn Jade Cargill heel, though, annoyingly. But there is
I feel like they're building Bianca up to be the female version of John Cena, in which I mean I can put her on TV, let her go do interviews, send her to do Make-A-Wishes, be the role model for young females, especially young black females. So that's why I don't think they would turn her heel.
Absolutely. This is coming from so this was posted on comicbook.com and it was taken from Bet Online. So, courtesy of Bet Online, odds makers slightly favour Jade Cargill to turn on her tag team partner Bianca Belair at WWE Bash in Berlin. Cargill turning heel is at negative 150, while her odds remain aligned with Belair are a narrow plus 110. Cargill and Belair are also favoured to win the match at negative 225 odds. The odds on victory could result as a count of disqualification or counter which result in title not changing hands. And of course, it would be the first tag team breakup in that way, while still holding gold since Moxley and Seth Rollins. I personally think the way it's been going, where Belair's all about victory, whereas Jade Cargill's all about having fun. If you're meant to be the strongest and the quickest and all that, and that's your character or your gimmick, well, specifically a gimmick's not character, but if that is your gimmick, then you should not be a babyface in this tag team. You should be the one turning heel. Especially if your teammates are like, I just want to have fun now. No, you're there to win championships. So I hope personally they turn Bianca. I think Bianca as a heel in NXT was so much better than a babyface. But like you say, she's so popular with kids. Like, it's hard. You can't have two strong-ass women friends in this industry. They have to go against each other just the way it is. Bang on.
That's in life in general with women.
Oh, for sure. Where do you think for this match, though? The way this is going.
Well, my question is, if you turn one of them heel, you're gonna have them feud with each other up until WrestleMania, because that's what everybody is wanting, is them to have their WrestleMania moment.
Yes.
So this feud cannot sustain that long until WrestleMania in April.
It'd be very hard to separate the two of them, that's for sure.
So I would keep them as a tag team together. Not let either one of them turn quite yet. You can still have long-term storytelling, not 8 months out. You could still have long-term storytelling in 4 months, 3 months. Because I don't think Jade Cargill is ready to face Bianca, because Bianca will expose her in the ring.
hugely. What I would like, in a way, it goes back to one of my favourite periods in WWE's history of wrestling, was during the New Generation. I loved the Quebecers as a tag team. I loved the Hart Brothers teaming together in 93 going into 94. And I liked, obviously, the heel turn of Owen Hart on Brett at the Royal Rumble. When Brett was carrying a slight injury, he refused to tag in Owen, then they lost. I would like in that kind of way where Bianca might be carrying an injury. She refuses to tag in Jade. It pisses off Jade because obviously she wants to get more experience in the ring, more time to improve herself. And you got the element of frustration where instead of Jade going to do the Owen Hart, you get the swerve, and even though she's injured, Bianca Belair does it to Jade. Where she's like, I've just been faking this all along because I'm sick of carrying you. And then you get the Bianca heel turn. I think that would be really exciting.
Oh, Bianca turning would be
Comment
exciting.
from here. I think she needs it more than anything else. My prediction is they win tonight and keep it till about December, January, then they split before WrestleMania.
Yep.
Would you agree?
I agree with that.
Because I also think they'll win tonight as well. I don't like
know.
the tag.
I have them. I have picked Jade and Bianca to win.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see this match ending in a disqualification because of everybody's favorite faction.
Damage control.
Of Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Sonya Deville.
Yeah,
I could see them interfering and this match ending in a DQ. And then you're setting a 3-way up for bad blood. Because all three of these teams will have bad blood with each other.
Or even a fatal 4-way. That might certainly happen. Yeah, you go and get your bingo card and snacks and your drink. Go and enjoy it, sister. I'll see you soon. I think in a way as well, you mentioned, I could see it becoming a fatal 4-way as well, and they still find a way to add in Kairi Sane and Io Sky. And always remember, she said yeet. No. Stuff James. No yeet. No. Oh, you treacherous. I actually like the idea of a disqualification, to be fair. I think yeah, she is a JSO fan. To be fair, he has a cool entrance. I just don't like him as a worker. I just think he's a bit too basic. Same as Solo Sikoa, he's just a basic bitch. But the problem with the tag titles is this tag division's been around for 6 years, and they've never really backed it. Like they just brought it in because people were begging for women's tag titles, when at the same time I was begging for a women's mid card title. Like they should have brought in a mid card singles championship, not tag titles. There's not enough depth.
No, there's not. And they were just throwing teams together to see what would stick. And the only time that the women's tag titles have really been relevant is when Sasha Banks and Naomi held them.
Even Bayley as well, when she had it with her as well, and they're in that run during lockdown, at least they actually kept it going.
Mm-hmm.
But
they don't really. I feel like WWE does not really have a strong women's division, and I know the drones are going to come after me for that. But they really don't have a strong women's division to have a tag women's titles. That's why I'm kind of glad AEW doesn't have them yet, and everybody that's like, oh, they need women's tag titles. No, they don't. They need their women's division to start getting on point, which they have been with, Mercedes Moné coming in, Deonna Purrazzo coming in, the women that are getting time in Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
So they're building theirs up, but if they're going to do tag team for women, they need some legitimate women's tag team Especially.
And there's only two. And there's only generally two teams on that entire roster for WWE that actually is a genuine tag team. Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn are a genuine tag team. The
Yep.
other one is Caden Carter and Katana Chance.
Yep.
They are the two genuine tag teams, and chemistry is important, but also you've got to one thing that doesn't help anymore is I don't think these tag teams generally travel the road with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why tag teams don't feel the same. Like great tag teams always travel the roads together. If you get these guys going together, they will thrive.
And this might be an unpopular opinion, but I kind of dig Shayna and Zoe being a tag team together. I think they have good chemistry together.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could keep them as a tag team and get some more decent women's tag teams in there, they might could have run that division.
I think the one good thing is though is they've got another amazing woman in that division who is competent in singles and tags, and she had a really strong tag team in TNA with Perazzo. Chelsea Green is right there as well.
I like Chelsea and Piper as a tag.
Like I think they've got a good
tag
connection.
team.
I think Chelsea
agree.
is too underrated. I think she's far too underrated.
I think I like Chelsea better as a tag team than Chelsea on her own.
I think that's fair to say.
Because, like, she's so outgoing, so over the top, where Piper is kind of just, like, mellow and chill. So it's kind of like yin to yang. That's why I think
they are right.
So good
they are
together.
kind of like yin yang, aren't they? Yeah, I quite like that.
And I think that's why they fit so good together.
I just like I also like how they will always find a means to just enjoy themselves. I think that's another missing trick, but
and I would literally push them as a legit tag team.
I would give them the titles again and actually give them a long run. I don't like that the women's titles are so quick to change hands. It's like, we'll just rename the women's tag titles the Women 24/7 Championship.
There you go.
Oh look, Dana Brooke. Give her this championship. Oh look, R-Truth. Give him it 65 times. No. Like, Jesus Christ. But that's just the nature of it. I still think this will actually be okay though. I think Bianca on her own, Bianca against Isla Dawn, for example, the two heavyweights of the team, that's where I'm going to enjoy it the most. But I do like Alba Fyre when she works in the ring. Like, she does actually have a good means of ability. And the good thing about Alba Fyre is Isla Dawn and Bianca Belair are the quicker of the two respective teams. So Alba Fyre and Jade Cargill, they work together even for 5-6 minutes, and it's slow. It'll actually be okay, because then you're actually accommodating the right opposition. If you put Isla Dawn versus Jade Cargill, it's going to be one of them's going to be too quick, the other's going to be confused, and the other's going to be out of it. You match it right to each other's pace.
What's the over-under Jade has a botch in this match?
I think she has potentially 2. But I think it'll be her trying to do a double team move herself on Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn. I think there'll be a mistake in there. But I also think there will be a mistake from either of the women's tag champs. I don't want to see any botches, but annoyingly with Jade Cargill, they do follow. And I don't know why.
She has regressed since joining WWE from her AEW days, I feel. And AEW did a good job of hiding her deficiencies in the ring.
Very short matches. The Performance Center, as it's supposed to be, she goes to the Performance Center. You'd think she got criticised for doing on-the-road training with Bryan Danielson. She should have been doing on-the-road training with the likes of Bianca, etc. Even like before shows when they're setting the ring up, just practice in the ring. Or go to the Performance Center with the main roster talent and just train. But I feel like they missed a trick with Cargill. I hope Cargill can get on the right path though. But I think we all know, didn't matter what organisation she was in, she only had her eyes on 2 things: making money and getting close to Hollywood.
Yep.
She's always said that.
Yes.
and I actually credit her for being honest. I'd rather someone just say, I'm actually only in this to make money and just get my name closer to Hollywood, instead of I want to be a good wrestler or a good performer. No, I want to get close to Hollywood as close as I can. So far I've gone 2 title retentions. It's likely going to be all 3. Actually, no, I've got one. Sorry, I've got Cody Rhodes and I've got Bianca. Bianca and Jade to win. The next one I think has got the making to probably be the better of the 2 tag teams, because it's actually 2 groups that actually work well with each other. Damian Priest with Rhea, great partnership, and Dominik Mysterio with Liv Morgan, which actually fits better than Dominik and Rhea Ripley did. What do you make of these 2 groups, and what do you make of the match itself? Do you think this will be a good one?
It has the potential to be a good one. I have Ripley and Priest winning, since they've continuously gotten beaten down on Raw for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, classic booking.
And definitely not a fan of Liv. She doesn't need a mic. I don't need to hear her talk. She's annoying as hell. She don't look that great in the ring. I mean, just to be honest. Not a fan of Dom, but Dom is like a good heel. Like, he's like, oh, I'm gonna die saying this, but he's like, there's Christian Cage heel level. I think Dominik is, with seasoning, he could potentially be a Christian Cage heel in the future.
Someone that you really, really loathe. Like, and you actually want to see him get every form of comeuppance possible.
And I do think, if I have to pick a match that's going to have like a ton of fuckery in it, it's going to be this match, because I do see JD, Carlito, and Finn probably getting involved.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's going to be so much interference. I think you're going to see interference on both sides. I think there's going to be interference for the Judgment Day. I also think the Terror Twins are going to get some involvement. I think Jey Uso is going to get involved. I think he'll definitely help Priest and Rhea Ripley. It wouldn't surprise me in that element. I think the good thing about this one as well, you're coming into Berlin, is the Judgment Day on Raw have made, even SmackDown, but you're not going to have any SmackDown involvement, but from the time on Raw specifically, they've made so many enemies that there's a chance that it might be more than just Dom. Like, we might see Rey Mysterio appear. Like, we might see one of the LWO get involved. Like, it screams a level playing field, and it wouldn't surprise me, a Bad Blood, if we get an even bigger tag match between these guys, or we get an all-male tag match, and then we get Morgan versus Ripley world title rematch.
Yeah, I think I could see Liv and Rhea going at it for the title at Bad Blood, since they have bad blood with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they've been building up to.
I think you might get a match stipulation between those two. I think you might get a Hell in a Cell. I don't think Liv Morgan deserves a Hell in a Cell match in entirety. I think Rhea Ripley does. But I don't think Liv Morgan does. But I think they are screaming towards a stipulated match where we got to end this once and for all. So you've got the Terror Twins to win.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think, as much as I actually would like that, and that's why I would prefer.
Because, I mean, if Dom and Liv win, what's next? You're just going to continue fighting?
Yeah, I don't think they're done yet. I don't think this. I think this feud will go to Bad Blood. I think that's where the end
that's
will
why
be.
I think Rhea and Damian needs to win, since they've had beatdowns the past 2 weeks on SmackDown. I mean, on Raw.
Yeah. I wonder if we might get a no contest.
I could see that.
I actually would like it if it does go to a no contest. Because then you're actually really stretching the creative bounds here, because then you can go, well, there was no decisive winner. We really need to have a.
And then you could put them in a cage.
Yeah.
Or you could have like no interference. So, like you said, put a stipulation on it.
Yeah. So I'm actually going. There probably will be a winner, but I've actually gone for. I've actually put my prediction down as a no contest. For the fun. Now we're coming on to arguably the match of the card. This is what Bash at the Berlin is riding on. It's not riding on Gunther's world title reign, which, to be fair, Gunther is the better of the two world champions, in my opinion, even though he's only been world champion for a month. The strap match isn't going to be the final match in this feud, but it's definitely going to be the next level of intense. This feud has been carrying WWE for the summer. Drew McIntyre is doing the best work of his entire career. CM Punk looks motivated. He looks interested. We know that Punk is an elite narcissist anyway. If he even gets like a slight unfortunate tap on his wrist, he'll probably cry wolf and get injured again, because he is fragile Phil. But when he is at his best, he really is at his best. Like, that's one thing with CM Punk, is always consistent. What do you make of this strap match, and who do you think is going to win?
I really would like to see Drew win, but I'm going with CM Punk because I don't think they're gonna let CM Punk lose,
especially when he lost at SummerSlam.
And I feel like they're building him up maybe for a world title shot in the future.
I agree.
I apologize. My son just got up and was asking me how to cook something.
No, that's okay. That's okay. You were saying?
Do we really want to see CM Punk with a world title in the future?
Is it weird that I think yes? Because I'd like to see what he does in contrast to his last world title reign, which was an absolute disaster.
But it might be good depending on who they have chase him.
I think you might get Rollins versus Punk as the world title main event at WrestleMania next year.
Okay, I won't be upset with that.
I think that's a logical one.
Yeah, because they haven't really finished their feud yet.
No.
Because each of them keeps getting injured and being out. So they haven't really had a chance to do their feud.
I am hoping as well that once he is finally finished with Roman once and for all, I still expect CM Punk versus Roman Reigns to happen, but I think at that point you'll see the reuniting of Heyman and Punk, but for a relatively small period. Because I think after that point, Heyman will quickly turn on him, and Heyman will side with Braun Breaker. I don't think Braun Breaker necessarily needs Paul Heyman, but I think...
Oh, I think he does.
I think he will get a Braun with Heyman, and when that happens, he will absolutely win the world title, and I think he'll take it from Punk.
I think Braun does need Heyman, because if you have to pick a weak point for Braun, I think his promos are his weakest. So giving him a mouthpiece would be good.
Because it's necessarily what he does best, though. It's like Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's best attributes are when he's in the ring. When he's on the mic, he can do an odd promo, but like you say, it's the consistency. It's not always there. I think that's fair to say so. But look at this one. So you would like McIntyre to win, but you think Punk will win.
Yes.
If you had to give this match a time frame, bear in mind it's a strap match, it's going to be brutal. Over or under 25 minutes?
It definitely should be over 25. It should be like in the 30-minute category for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see
Do you think
WWE doing an hour match, but 30 minutes for a strap match. That way you can get all your brutality in. Because
Do you
they'll
think
probably start the match and they'll probably have like a stare down in the center of the ring for a good 10 or 15 seconds before one of them starts throwing blows.
One thing I'd like to see is either McIntyre or CM Punk. I'd like the other person to choke them with the strap, like wrap around their neck and like proper yank them. Like, I know there's going to be a lot of young people watching this, so if you are watching this show as well, this doesn't apply to you. But to quote Brock Lesnar towards a very kind ginger several years ago, fuck those kids. So purely just choke the life out of them. I hope either.
Like I want to see one of them do what Swerve did to Hangman in AEW with the chain.
Yeah, just wrap it right
Drop
around
him
the
over the
you're
top
trying to kill
rope
him.
and just hang him there.
Get some real pain going. Like let's see some real damage, because this is a strap match. They're not for the weak in heart.
They're not.
They're supposed to be brutal. They're supposed to be violent. They're supposed to be deadly. Let's make it deadly. And let's enjoy it, because I think this could be CM Punk's best match since the dog collar. He hasn't had a good match since dog collar, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
But CM Punk vs McIntyre SummerSlam was close. Like, it was close. Like, it was close good, but the last great match he had was that dog collar. I think they've got a chance here to have his best match since then. And I think it will be.
I think it's something about Drew McIntyre that brings out the best in Punk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they really have a hatred for each other or whatever, but they do have good chemistry with each other.
I think they really at length will discuss their work together. I think they really at length will say, well, we're going to set the bar this way. We're going to go all in on it. And we're going to come all out, guns blazing. And I want you to go as far as you possibly can within reason. And I'll go with it, and I'll respond to you. And I like those elements. It's very clear. I'm hoping after this is the end of the involvement of the bracelet. We don't need the bracelet after this. But one thing we do need, Bad Blood, the trilogy match. I think Bad Blood will be the end of this feud, and I'm hoping it'll be a Hell in a Cell. If not, give them a fucking, give them a First Blood or a Buried Alive match, which they've not done in years.
I could see that. I wouldn't mind a match like that with them.
I think it'd be so exciting. I advocated for a Buried Alive match a couple of months ago, so I'm like, please give me what I want.
When was the last time WWE did one? Like, wasn't it The Undertaker?
Taker versus Kane at Bragging Rights, yeah. 2010. They haven't done one in 14 years.
So, yeah, now would be an excellent time to do one.
Absolutely, absolutely. We both have Punk to win, so now we've got the main event. And good timing, because the main show starts in 50 minutes, so we've actually got through this in beautiful timescale. So, this world title match, it didn't work at King of the Ring, because the pacing really didn't help. But it's second time around. They are a bit more used to each other. The promo work between Gunther and Randy Orton has been very good. The build has been interesting. Like, Gunther has gone away from it's all about the sacred ring to full on Mein Kampf, and he's treating like everyone like he's a Nazi German. Like, everyone is beneath him. Like, Gunther is channeling his inner Hitler. When you look at what he's been saying, like, everyone's beneath him. He is the above all else. And Randy Orton's like, well, you're not that good. You've yet to be tested, and I'm going to take your title first chance I get. Orton wins this. He's a 15-time world champion. if Gunther wins this, then he does what McIntyre couldn't do, and that's at least win a world title in home soil background area. I think this is going to be a whole lot better than the King of the Ring match they had together. But what do you make of this? And if Orton doesn't win, for example, he stays on SmackDown. Do you think if he loses, he's the next in line for the WWE title? If he loses, what do you think about this one? And are you looking forward to it as well?
I'm looking forward to it because it's a Randy Orton match. Like I said, I'm a huge Randy fan. Always have been. I agree their first match was kind of like a filling out process for the two. I've got Gunther winning. I would love to see Randy win. If I was booking this match, I would have Randy win just for shock value. Because everybody's expecting Gunther to have like a year reign before he drops the title.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes long reigns get boring. Roman Reigns.
And I like Gunther as well, but I do second your point. I
would have him drop on his home soil because, you know, WWE is known for doing shit like that. Let Randy win it. Then maybe have Randy drop it back to Gunther at Bad Blood. Because now, as you said, Gunther thinks he is above everybody else, that he's better than everybody else.
He's channeling supremacy.
He's superior to everybody else. And I was glad you brought up like he was channeling like his inner Nazi, because I was seeing signs of that as a historian. I was seeing signs of that. I was like, I'm wondering if anybody's picking up on this, or is it just me?
I'm just like a big massive because besides obviously you've done history as well. I love studying history, and especially that period of history. I'm just huge on. So I just saw it in the promos.
Huge World War II.
Same.
Yeah, I like all history. That's why my degree is in history, and I'm currently working on my PhD in history. So
nice.
But
I can help with that.
I kept seeing like once Gunther won the title, how he started elevating himself. Oh, I'm better than you. I'm better
even before it. Even before as well, when the first segment after he, like the segment following Clash at the Castle, for example, when Drew McIntyre had the rematch on Raw, and Drew McIntyre lost to Damian. Then Gunther came out and just laid out Priest. The following week they had the promo. It was a little uncomfortable, but he was channeling the, like I mentioned about the inner Nazi stuff and supremacy. You're beneath me, and then he referred to Damian Priest as like he called him like a bum basically, and called him like you're on the streets. You're nothing to me. You're just lucky to be here. It was a little bit uncomfortable, but that's uncomfortable by design. And I love the delivery. It was like a Jake Roberts classic promo where he can speak to you in any tone, but when he goes soft but dim, it really migrates the point that he's coming across that you are genuinely shite compared to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I have Gunther winning.
So do I.
I do see Randy going back to SmackDown and maybe challenging Cody. And bringing up like stuff from their past when they were in Elevation together. And Randy's like, well, you know, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be where you were. You know, I kind of mentored you, and now you're a champion. I think I would rather see a Cody Randy match.
I think it works really well.
And I think I would definitely have Cody drop the title for a little while and give him a break and let Randy hold the title for a little bit.
I think Cody would I think Cody would be happy to drop the title to Randy Orton. Because if anything, Randy Orton can have like a couple of title defenses. Randy Orton's another great champion. He's an excellent chaser, but he's an excellent champion.
Mm-hmm.
If he holds that for a couple of months, he drops it back to Cody. Cody can have it all the way to WrestleMania. Probably defend it successfully. Might drop it at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen a lot of people on social media saying because Cody defeated Roman, who had the title for 4 years or so, Cody should hold it for at least 2 years. And I was like, no, Mania to Mania is enough. But then somebody I know said, no, Mania to SummerSlam. I'm like...
And I do think Cody would do good business for Randy. Because I think these last 5 years, I think, is going to be Randy's retirement years. Like, he's probably building up to retire in 5 years. Because, honestly, I don't think his back can sustain anymore. I mean, one wrong drop, he could be paralyzed. He may have to end his career unexpectedly, like Edge and Daniel Bryan had to.
Great examples, yeah.
So, as long as Randy is healthy, I would at least give him 1 or 2 more title shots or title runs before he ends his career.
I would like it to be where Randy does win it. He's one of the guys I want to see get their last big world title run in WWE. He's one of them. The other for me is still AJ Styles. Like, AJ Styles proves that he's not, like, people think he's finished. He's not finished. It's just that people are just not keeping up with him. I believe he deserves one last run, either as world champion or WWE champion. Give him one last run.
Mm-hmm.
And God forbid WWE please give Nakamura a world title run.
That is never going to happen.
It pains me that they've never done it. It pains because he was the hottest thing they had and they blew it.
And he hasn't been on TV for like 4 or 5 months.
4 months since that defeat, yeah. And I think that's just where your priorities lack and where your priorities don't lie. But I think
a lot of it is he doesn't speak very good English. So I think that's where they're having problems. But give him a manager to do the talking for him and let him do his talking in the ring like a Brock Lesnar, like a Braun Breaker.
Which he does so damn well. Because when Nakamura's on it, he is still one of the best in the world.
Or like they did Andrade in NXT. They had Zelina be his mouthpiece, and he did all his talking in the ring.
Mm-hmm. And it's great.
I feel if they did that with Nakamura would be outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Especially when it just takes one good kick and it's over. But I like this. So, with 5 minutes to go until the show starts, I really enjoyed this. I'm glad that you've joined me, Katherine. It's good seeing you because after all, you're always in the live chats giving Tony Khan undying praise, or as Werner from Covalent TV calls it, zesty praise. But it's always entertaining. I think like what you don't. That's how it goes. But it's always entertaining. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure, and I'd love to have you on again more. But before we go on, obviously, I'm going to ask you to shout your socials and your blog. But I just want to ask, before the main show starts, what match do you think will be the best of the day, and which one do you think will be the worst?
Match of the day, I'm going to have to go with the strap match because I just like chaos and brutality.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I'm a hockey fan and a American football fan.
Makes sense.
The worst match, I'm going to have to say, is going to be the women's tag match.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I agree with that completely. I completely agree. Right here. Well, I have absolutely enjoyed that. So where can, on your social media, where can we find you? You also have a blog as well.
Yeah. You can find me at my social medias, which are listed below, the Mid Podcast, Winner X, and all those numbers they gave me. And also you can check out the website is oh Lord, I just left my brain. Too much studying this week.
Rightfully so, to be fair.
Yeah. wix.com/the-mid-podcast is our website.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also find us on YouTube at the Mid Podcast with my son, who co-hosts the Mid Podcast with me, Brendan.
And it's certainly good.
There's Brendan.
Diving in, good to see him. He's welcome to join us anytime he wants as well.
Photobomb in that ugly Man United jersey.
It's not ugly. He knows the right football team. He understands.
Man City was up 1-0 a while ago. So, but yeah, that's where you can find us. Check out our stuff.
Fantastic.
And it's been a pleasure being on with you, Reece.
I know.
We'll have to get you on our show one day.
Oh, by all means, absolutely. Just let me know when you can. I'll absolutely join you. Well, guys, this has been your Bash in Berlingo main event. See, Berlingo. It's not Berlin. It's Berlingo. But signing off, the real World's Champion. But in the meantime, to everyone that's been on here, thank you so much for tuning in. We've got, as I said, daily content. So more's coming out tomorrow. More's coming out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The lot. All that I'm going to say is tune in when you can. Like, share, subscribe to the Weekly Steelchair. Go and subscribe to the Mid Podcast. Check out Catherine's blog. And in the meantime, goodbye for now.